It hadn't been 24 minutes yet.
You're on.
You're on seconds.
Okay.
Hello, good morning, Westminster. Good morning, Carol, and good morning, Boyd.
Good
Hello.
morning, everybody.
Hi, Carol. Hi, Ken. How are you today?
I'm great. And Bobby, we're so happy to welcome you here today as our special guest, Bobby Collins, who is chair of the Food Committee. So we're going to do a little food discussion today. I have one little question I want to ask you, and then Boyd has something. Do you know what you get, Bobby, when you boil a funny bone?
Oh, wait a minute, Bobby. This is a culinary question. Now listen to what she says.
I think
Should I call the chef?
No, you can't do that.
I think we had that on. I think we had that on Wednesday.
What do you get when you boil a funny bone?
I don't know.
A stomach ache.
no, it's a laughing stock.
Oh, good one.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
a good one. Yeah.
Right. Boyd, take it away.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
fun.
So just to get things in the right mood. I've got a story. A wife was cooking some eggs for her husband's breakfast, and suddenly her husband burst into the kitchen and he said, "Be careful, be careful. Put in some more butter. Oh my goodness, you don't have enough butter. Put in some more butter. Oh, it's too much, too much." And then he said, "Oh my gosh, what are you doing with all that butter? Don't put so much butter, you'll burn yourself. And careful, be careful, watch it. Oh, the salt, put in the salt." And she turned to him and she said, "What is wrong with you? Don't you think I can cook a couple of eggs?" And he said, "I just wanted you to know how I felt when I was driving."
Oh, mean. How mean
Oh,
is
that's
that?
horrible.
Yes.
You'll get a lot of feminist reports on that, I bet you, Boyd.
Yeah.
You will. You'll get some
Sorry, Bobby.
bad joke.
I thought one more food fact. It's not a joke, but I thought this was pretty incredible. President Andrew Jackson, when he was president, always kept 1,000+ pound cheese wheel.
Block.
Okay, block of cheese in the White House at all times. I thought that was just mind blowing.
1,000 pounds?
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean,
Why
that's a
did-
lot of cheese.
Why did he do that?
He liked cheese. This isn't a joke. It's a fact.
Sound
It's
like
a
he's-
fact.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
he used to have, he was the first one to open the White House to the hoi polloi, and he'd have these big weekend parties, and anybody that wanted to could come to the White House. And maybe that's what they used the cheese for, but there were cartoons that of the time where you see all these drunken farmers are falling out of the windows of the White House, you know, and because Andrew Jackson believed in the common man. So
Well, I guess the common man knew where the cheese was, so they
Probably,
showed
yeah.
up for the parties. Anyway, Bobby, tell us about your committee and what it's made up of and what you do and everything like
Well-
that, including how the dining room thing is working out too.
All right. We'll be happy to. The Food Committee serves primarily as a conduit between the residents and the food and beverage leadership. And the committee consists of 12 people, and Sarah and Brian and the chef meet with us monthly. And we discuss everything from the menus to complaints. Now, there's not a lot of them, but we do have a few complaints, but most is praise for the food leadership. It's been amazing. So, and I have found it very, very interesting to have this committee, in that I've gotten to know people that I probably would not have the opportunity to meet. So that's been a definite plus for me.
it's one of the most popular committees that we have here, resident committees, there's a waiting list to get on it, isn't there?
Yes, it is. The food is something that is very personal to all of us. And if there's one thing that I have learned, or the committee has learned, is that everybody has different tastes. If you have a filet at dinner, you may think it's wonderful, and the person sitting next to you doesn't think so. So you have to be the people in the food and beverage department. You really have to be on your toes because everybody has different tastes.
And hard to satisfy everybody.
Exactly. You may like salt and someone else may not. So, and I think the food and beverage department has done a marvelous job during this pandemic, with all of us in our apartments and food having to be delivered. And now that the dining room is open, that's really a plus for all of us. And I think they've done a wonderful job.
Bobby, how is the remodeling of the kitchen, the dining room going?
Well, it's as far as I know, I think that the remodeling is complete, except we are going to get different chairs. And I think that's going to be the in 21. So, but the carpet is in and the paint has been done and the paintings are up. So I think it looks really good. I've had some good compliments on it.
Did they have to change the kitchen a lot?
They did remodel the kitchen, and the committee had a Zoom tour of the kitchen, and we got to see the changes and meet all of the personnel in the kitchen, and that was extremely interesting.
I'll bet. Yeah. So
if
a person, excuse me, Carol, go ahead.
I have a quick question. One of my favorite things before was the salad bar that had a lot of salads like carrot and raisin and Waldorf and just things like that are not on the regular menu. And are they going to bring anything like that back?
Well, I think the Laurel in the menu will continually change. In fact, at our next meeting on Tuesday, we're going to discuss some changes on the menu as it exists today. And with the restrictions and everything that they're going to, the menu has to be limited more than it was when everything was wide open. And you can certainly understand that.
Sure. Okay.
Carol, I don't think they'll ever have exactly the same kind of salad bar, but they may have stations, you know, once we're able to open up. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bobby, but right now, of course, we can't have a bar where people serve themselves, but in the future, they may have serving stations for soup and salad and things like that.
Oh, there's great plans for the new open. And when I say open, it is open now, but it's really under certain restrictions, as you all know. And
so let me ask you this: how do you eat with your mask on?
Very carefully. It can really be messy. but the staff has really done a wonderful job. I don't know if you've eaten in the dining room since it reopened, but I have. It was great, and it was wonderful seeing people that perhaps you hadn't seen in a while. So, and you keep your masks on until you give your order to the server, and then you can take your mask off and have a glass of wine or whatever. And then there's not supposed to be any visiting. You're supposed to, you know, be at your table for the time, and you can't walk around and visit with folks like we all always have.
Yeah.
But that
Bobby,
will change.
Bobby, the menu that's there now is very limited, but understand that's going to be expanding.
Oh, it will. In fact, as I said, we're discussing that at our meeting on Tuesday. They will continually add things and delete things. So you won't have to have the same menu all the time. It'll be like it was in the bistro. They change the menus periodically, and they'll have, when the dining room opens and everything is back to normal, there'll be a food bar, and I think there'll be a fast food area. So it'll be completely different.
Hmm.
So,
I understand they're gonna put in a pizza oven.
Yes, that's what I've heard. I haven't seen where that's going to take. I think that's going to be in in the new building. I don't think it's going to be in this dining room.
I
That's
think
exactly
I think
right.
that's right.
Yes, yes. It will be in the new, in the Carlisle.
Right.
So, Bobby, do you take suggestions or questions from the residents who want you to
Oh,
refer them on to the food staff?
most definitely. And I think all of our members on the food committee have had that made suggestions and wanting special things. And I don't know if everyone realizes this or not, but on your menu that you receive, where you mark if you want the delivery service, you can write in, if you want a baked potato instead of rice, just write it in. And Sarah and Brian and they want people to write in things that they're there to please.
That's exactly right. That's their attitude. They're there to please you.
Exactly. And I think that they have done a wonderful job.
So if a person wants excuse me, to eat in the dining room part of the time and to have food delivered to her apartment, the other part, they can still do that.
Yes. In fact, this week I've had food delivery 3 days, and the rest of the time I'm eating in the dining room. There's many ways that you can do it, or you can go through the pickup menu. There's many different ways that you can get your choices made. So that's good. They're there to please. And I think that every time the delivery associates bring it to me, they're pleasant, they're happy, they act like they're very happy to bring me my meal. And I think that's such a testament to Westminster.
Absolutely.
The associates are so well trained, and I think that's such an asset.
I think
You have
that's a
such
good
a
point.
great
That's a good
attitude.
point, Bobby. And when we ate there, I got the feeling that the one who was waiting on us was just about as glad to see the residents as the residents are to see them. I think they're happy to see us because we had you got to know those people, and it was really good to see them again.
Well, and I think we all like to see face to face and smiles, and we have to continually think that this phase that we're going through, it's going to change, and we're going to go back to normal and enjoy our life at Westminster. I think all of us know that Westminster is the best place to be, especially during this time.
I think we've learned through this or that we were taking a lot for granted. And now that we're not able to do some of those things, we realize
How much we miss them.
how much we miss them.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Good point. Good
Right.
point.
Bobby, I never have understood exactly what the new restaurant in the Carlisle is going to be. And everybody can go to any restaurant. Is that right?
Well, I think you're going to have Brian on to go into that. We have had so many things to take care of on the food committee that we've not gone into the new facility details too much. So you better ask Brian about that.
Well,
Well, the
I
only
did-
thing I
I
heard
did-
Brian say was that I think the new in the Carlisle, that particular restaurant will have a bar, but it'll also, for dining, you'll require a reservation.
Oh, yes, it will be a reservation. It won't be like the bistro where you could, or in the Laurel, I think it will be reservation only. Yes.
Right.
but you're absolutely right, Carol. Every resident has the, has the option of eating at any of the restaurants
Uh-huh.
or dining rooms. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's like about a mile from the Laurel to the new one will be, but
Well,
that's
that's,
That's
you
good
can, you can
exercise.
work up an appetite and then work off
Right.
that dessert. So,
You
That's
can,
right.
you can get rid of these pounds we've all gained during
Yeah.
this time that we've been in our rooms.
it'll just be
Right.
That'll be
another
good
another
exercise.
stop on the shuttle. So,
Oh,
so Bobby, have you always had a interest in food and food preparation and that sort of
well,
thing?
no, I do not cook. When
Never?
I had my two sons at home and my husband, I did cook, but it was because it was required. And my husband used to tell the story of when our boys went to college, that I had the maid come in and wrap the kitchen in saran wrap, and I never opened it after that. But that was really an exaggeration. That was a little bit. But
It
I
wasn't
enjoyed
saran
it.
wrap.
Bobby, that reminds me of a guy. I saw this cartoon and he was carrying his new bride into their home, which she'd never seen before, this beautiful, almost mansion. And they go into the living room and she said, "That's beautiful." And they go into the dining room. She said, "Oh, it's just lovely." And they go in the kitchen and she said, "Now, what do you call this room?"
Well, that was about like it was when I got married. I love to eat, but I have never been a cook. I really haven't.
How long have you been the food committee chairperson?
This started in January. So we had the January and February meetings, face to face. And then in March, everything stopped, and
Right.
we didn't meet in March and April. But then in May, we had our first Zoom meeting, and we've had wonderful response from our members from the food committee. They've all participated, and Sarah and Brian and the chef have met with us each time on Zoom. So it's worked. It's worked.
That's great. Well, I know we've had special parties in the private dining room sometimes that are just top notch. I can't wait to be able to do that. We've had a couple for like a family birthday, and we had 18 people or something, and they just go out of their way to make those really special events. I think that's just one of
And
the
it's-
extras that we get here.
And for birthdays and anniversaries, the food, Sarah and Brian just go beyond belief on what they
They
do.
do. They really do.
It's
And
been,
we also have those birthday luncheons for the residents who are having birthdays.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
those
that's
are
a lot of-
super.
Mine is this
Yes.
month. So I'm
Oh,
really gonna miss
okay.
that.
You know,
a lot of us have missed it.
Yeah.
well, we did, Ken's birthday was last May, and we were just getting used to, being just in our rooms hardly. And so we had our 4 closest neighbors whose doors were fairly close to all come and stand out in their doorway. And we stood in the little intersection of it there, and we sang happy birthday, and I held a cake. And then I had wrapped in paper plates 5 pieces of cake. So we passed those out. So we were never close at all, but I couldn't stand just not to do anything for a birthday after, they just go to such elaborate measures here. But that was fun. But maybe he'll have an ordinary birthday this year.
And
Ordinary.
I think this virus have made us all think of original ways to do things. The
Absolutely.
Zoom example, and I'm Zoom meeting with my family, and I just think it's made us think out of the box. It
Right.
really
Right. Which is
Become
good.
more innovative and creative for communication, right?
Right.
Exactly. And I think that the food department has just done a wonderful job. I can't think of any way that they could improve. They have not added staff. They've done it all within the means that they had. So it's been a very successful undertaking. It really
Well,
has.
That's amazing right there that
That
they haven't
is.
had to.
Yeah.
Well,
It
Bobby,
has.
it's been so interesting talking to you. I know we'll think of 20 more questions as soon as we get away from this. But thank you so much for coming. And,
Thoroughly have enjoyed it. Thank you
Just
so
very-
much.
Thanks for
Bobby,
being
we'll
with us
see you.
today.
Bobby, thank you, Bobby. I'll see you Tuesday at the committee meeting.
Yes, I can.
You're on that.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. You're on that committee. I had forgotten that. And yeah. Well, that
Yeah,
was
tell your
interesting. Yeah.
Tell
So,
us your record story, Dan.
yeah, tell us a restaurant story.
Well, I remember it kind of reminds me of when the Laurel was just completely full of people, like for a special meal or a holiday or something. I was at Green Pastures and we had our Sunday buffet and the place was loaded, people waiting to get in. And I was walking around and, meeting and greeting and thanking them for coming and all that. And they were telling me, oh, the food is so great, Mr. Cook. Thank you, Mr. Cook. This is so wonderful. And my ego and my pride got pretty swelled up. And I saw this guy coming, walking down the aisle between the tables with his arms open like this. I said, oh my God, this guy's gonna hug me and give me a French kiss on each cheek and tell me the food is so fantastic. So I was kind of preparing myself for his embrace and wondering if it was going to be a French kiss on each cheek or what he was going to do. And he grabbed both shoulders and he said, your fly is unzipped. And so that kind of brought me back down to earth.
Yeah.
Well, that's a heck of a restaurant story.
Yeah. Well, talking about being brought down to earth, one of men I worked for, I was a assistant to the president back in my younger days with the company I worked for, and he was quite a gourmand and wine expert, and we had a company-wide meeting in Paris, and so I know for the managers and their wives, and so he had made arrangements at Le Serre, which is a famous restaurant on the Champs-Élysées with the glass top roof that they open up, and it was Christmas time, and there was Christmas lights all over Paris, and it was just, the most beautiful thing you ever saw. And the dining room was all decorated with lights, and he had ordered this set menu, and all of the, wines with every course, and there were about 40 people there. And so we finally, the dinner came to an end and lasted 3 or 4 hours. And I noticed him talking to the head waiter and nodding at me. And the next thing I know, they gave me the bill.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
no.
It's like the national debt, I bet.
Oh, my goodness.
We maxed
Well,
out.
boy,
I maxed out my credit card that night.
I
I
bet
bet.
Could
you
hardly
Oh.
hardly wait to get home and turn in an expense account. So
Speaking of money, Boyd, how is the campaign for the Residents Appreciation Fund going?
Well, we're getting right down to the critical time now. You know, our goal is $200,000, and we're right at 160,000, and we have until November 30th, so just a little over 2 weeks. And the response has been good, but not great. We still have a lot of people we haven't heard from yet, and so we need everybody to write those checks, and even if you haven't been here a full year, and you know, make an appropriate adjustment for the time you have been here, or if you feel you can't make the full $500 contribution that we suggest, send what you can, because we want 100% participation, and if we get that, we'll be well over our goal. We talked about the staff today with Bobby, and this is the way that we have. It's really the only way financially that we have to tell them how much we appreciate what they're doing for us. So I hope people will do that.
Great, I hope they do too. It's tax deductible. Well, we got anything else going on at Westminster this week, Boyd?
Well, yes, tonight, I think Jim Woodrick is doing the second installment of his Buried Treasures program.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that after the first installment, they started looking for the treasure in the Windsor courtyard, but they haven't found it yet.
They sure went down deep enough, didn't they?
That's right. So, and then what else? On Thursday, there's on 1890 at 3:30, I think it is, there's a London food tour. So we're talking about restaurants, and there's some really great restaurants in London. I know that you guys have been to London a number of times and have eaten, but I don't think maybe for another time we'll be able to talk about London restaurants. What do you think?
Yeah.
So
Right.
I think that's about all the time we have for today. We want to thank Bobby Collins for being here and telling us about the work of the food committee, and for all of you viewers out. Yeah, she did a really good job. So all of you viewers out there, keep your suggestions coming. You tell us who you'd like to have for a guest. Do we have a guest for next week yet, Carol?
We do. It's Max Sherman.
Honorable Max Sherman.
Right.
Oh,
And
his
he
honor, the senator is going to be
has
here.
a
Yeah.
brand new book out. He's got a brand new book out, so he will be telling us all about that.
I'm looking
that should be
forward to
great.
that, and I'm looking forward to reading the book too. I haven't
Great
got it
guy.
yet.
He's a great guy.
Right.
So, as I say, all of you out there, send your suggestions. Let us know what we can do, or what who we might have for guests that you'd like to hear from.
Right.
Join us again next week at Monday at 8:30 in the morning, and above all, stay safe and stay well. So goodbye, Carol. Goodbye, Ken.
Goodbye,
Boyd.
Boyd.
Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
good
you.
week.
You
Mhm.
too. And